up, guys? My name is Dwayne Sherrill, and this is My Wife as a Board Gamer, a show about my love for my wife, my love for board games, and what I'm doing to bring the two together. So today I'm going to talk about the very first board game that I got my wife to try out. So when it comes to games in general, my wife isn't a very competitive person. You know, she likes to relax and everything. So when I suggested this game to her, you know, she was wondering what makes this game different. And I said, it's cooperative. And she was like, go on. So this game is Forbidden Island. It is a 2 to 4 player game where we play as adventurers who are working together to go on this island, find these 4 relics, and get off this island before it sinks into the ocean. In this game, we all win or we all lose. There's only one way to win, but there's a few ways that we can all lose. Let's go to the table and check it out. So this is Forbidden Island set up on the table. The island is represented by these 24 tiles that have been randomly shuffled and then placed on the table in this specific grid. So and each of these tiles are locations. So like you got your Temple of the Moon, you got your Gold Gate, you got the Misty Marsh, stuff like that. Now, each of these tiles have a colored side and we have a non-colored side, which represents when this specific area has been flooded. Around the island are the 4 treasures that we're trying to get so we can get off the island. We have a treasure deck. We also have a flood deck. And at the beginning of the game, 6 cards of this deck has been revealed to show which areas of the island have already been flooded. So far we have Whispering Gardens is flooded, Breaker's Bridge, Howling Garden, Phantom Rock, Lost Lagoon, and Copper Gate are already flooded. And we have a meter, a flood meter, which represents the difficulty of the game. So we're starting on novice, but there's normal, elite, and legendary. Now, each player is going to get a role to play in the game. So on the island right now, we have the engineer, which is the red guy. We have the pilot, the blue guy. And we also have the messenger, which is the gray guy over here. But we also have the diver, the explorer, and the navigator that you can play with in the game. So, on a player's turn, first of all, they would start off with 2 of these treasure cards. And all this is open information, so we will leave it face up in front of us. On a player's turn, you would do 3 actions. And those 3 actions can consist of movement. You move to an adjacent tile. You can shore up an adjacent tile. You can give a treasure card, or you can grab a treasure. So to move, you would take your pawn and you will move either horizontally or vertically. Okay. Now there is a role, the explorer, he's the only one that can move diagonally. He can also shore up diagonally. So this will be 1 action. This will be 2 actions. Okay, so let's say I did this. This is 1 action. So another action I could take is I can shore up. So shoring up is consisting of taking a flooded tile and flipping it to its colored side. Okay. Now, so that's 1 action I just did. Now remember, the explorer can shore up diagonally. The engineer can shore up 2 tiles for 1 action. But usually you can only shore up 1 tile, and that tile will have to be either horizontally adjacent, vertically adjacent, or it could be the tile that your pawn is standing on. Now, the other action you could do is you can give a treasure card. So let's say one of my players that's playing with me rather, he has these treasure cards. And if we're standing on the same tile, so if his pawn is over here, I can give him this treasure card. So I can just hand it over to him. Now, each player has a hand limit of 5. So we have to be very aware of how many cards they have in their hand. So I talked about movement. I talked about shoring up. I talked about giving a treasure card. The other thing you could do is to gain a treasure. So my pawn is sitting on this particular tile, and there's this treasure. So if I had 4 cards that had that treasure on it, I could discard those cards and take this treasure into my possession. And I will put it in my play area. So that would mean we got one of the treasures. So I can get that treasure at this location, Temple of the Moon, or I can go up here to Temple of the Sun and get that treasure. Okay, and then once I've taken my 3 actions, then I would draw 2 treasure cards. Place it in my play area. Okay? Then at the end, we would draw flood cards. So for every card we draw, we will find that specific tile and turn it over and flood it. So let's say this is the bronze gate. So I will find the bronze gate, flip it over. Now it's flooded. Okay. And then I will find the watchtower. So the watchtower is way over here. So now that's flooded. Now, there, as in the treasure deck, there are the treasure cards, but there are 3 other cards. There's the helicopter lift. So this is pretty much you could play at any time on your turn. Okay? There's a sandbag card. You can, so usually you could shore up, to shore up a tile, you have to be adjacent to it. But with a sandbag, you could just shore it up anywhere on the island for free. Now, here's the card we're scared of. Water rises. So when a water rise comes, we would take this card, put it in the discard pile. We would take this meter, move it up 1. Okay? So notice here, we draw 2 flood cards. But whenever it crosses this line here, now we're drawing 3 flood cards. And then up here, it's drawing 4 flood cards. So it gets more and more dangerous. So we will move this up here. Then we would take any flood cards that we have drawn, shuffle them, and put them back on top. Now that's the scary part of the whole thing, because if ever you pull a card, so let's say this is flooded already. If I was to pull Bronze Gate again, then this will just disappear. And that part of the island has sunk into the abyss. Okay, we remove that card out of this deck. It is no longer in the game. So that is the one reason why we want to keep shoring up areas of the island to make sure they're not lost. Okay, because it limits our movements. I could never, my pawn here cannot come down here now. Now there is a role here, the diver. The diver can come down. He can swim through areas of the island that are no longer there, but no one else can. So now this is the thing. The whole basis of the game is we're trying to get all these treasures. Like the only way to get these treasures is to get to the locations that has that treasure picture on that tile and have 4 cards in your hand. So to get this lion, I will have to be here or here, and that one's already flooded. Now, there it is. The only way to win the game is to have all these treasures, all of us get back to here and leave the island. And in order to leave the island, we would have to have one of those cards that I showed you, the helicopter card, in order to fly off the island. Okay, now, there are 4 ways we can lose this game. So, as you can see here, if this and this were to sink into abyss, we could no longer get that treasure. And that means we lost the game. If our landing site was to sink into the abyss, we can't get off the island anymore. We would lose the game. If ever one of our pawns gets to a place where it's stuck on a part of the island. So let's say this guy here and this is gone. He can't get anywhere unless somebody can fly over there to get him, But other than that, he can't get anywhere. So we would lose the game that way. And if this meter ever got to the top, like if it made it all the way up here, we would lose the game also. So there are 4 ways to lose the game, but only one way to win the game. And that's to work together, put our heads together, talk it through, go through this island, keep shoring up, keep trying to get these treasures and get off the island. And that is how you win Forbidden Island. And that's Forbidden Island. Like I said, this is a 2 to 4 player game. It's for ages 10 and up. Lasts about 30 minutes. Published by Gamewright Games. You can find this game for about $20 at your Target or Walmart. And this game came out in 2010. And despite the fact that it's 10 years old, it still finds its way to our table at my house. This game is 3 in the series. So you got Forbidden Island, you got Forbidden Desert, which is a little more challenging, and you have Forbidden Sky. I do own all 3, but I have yet to try out Forbidden Sky. So I can't speak on it as of yet. Like I said, this game is an essential game to have in your collection when you're introducing your family and friends to the world of board gaming. It is a very great game. You're working together for a common goal. And like I said, you either all win or you all lose. So check this game out. This has been My Wife as a Board Gamer. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the content of this video and the past videos. If you do, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, leave any comments below, and I will see you next time.